reaction to the first round draft of 2022. My name is Patrick Seals. Hey, you talking about? I will be your person here helping you guide along to these journeys of emotions on how we're going to feel if the Atlanta Falcons don't pick who we think they're going to pick. Now, I'm wearing a hat only just to get mad and take it off. The only reason why I'm wearing this hat is just so I can have a dramatic effect if the Falcons pick somebody I do not like, so I can slam it down like so. That's what I'm going to do. It's the only reason why I'm wearing this hat is so I can throw it down. So, we here in the living room again. The NFL draft about to take place in Las Vegas. 32 young men's lives are going to be changed forever. Hopefully they don't blow it all in Las Vegas, in the city of sin. And right now, I'm going to give you my little mock draft for these Atlanta Falcons, who I think they should pick. Now, spoiler alert, I got a lot of biasness put into this mock draft that I created. It's a lot of Georgia players who just won a championship trophy in Indianapolis a couple months ago. You know what I'm talking about. Those people. Yes, I got a couple of biased picks picked up in here. So, let's go through it. With the 8th selection in the 2022 draft, the Atlanta Falcons should pick. They should pick. Oh, man. They should pick now. I said they should pick Jordan Davis. That's right. The Atlanta Falcons should pick Jordan Davis with the 2022 first-round draft pick because I believe we need to go defense heavy in this here draft. We have been a laughingstock on defense for my whole entire tenure being a Falcons fan. I don't remember we having a defensive unit that was just dominant. It hasn't happened for us. So I believe we should get Jordan Davis in the first round to give Grady Jarrett some help, man. He gets double teamed on the daily, every snap. On defense, he gets double teamed. He needs somebody down in the trenches to help bolster that defensive line. Now, with the 43rd pick in the 2022 draft, I think the Atlanta Falcons should pick Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, this man is tremendous. He is a leader. He takes responsibility, and he does not mind putting his behind out on the field. That's what he does. So I believe the Falcons should pick him with the second round. With the 58th pick in the second round, the Atlanta Falcons should pick George Pickens. That's right. I said George Pickens. Now, honestly, I believe you can switch this pick and my next pick around. I believe you can kind of get George Pickens in the third round because he got ACL history. He's got a history with his ACL, which is gonna deter him from being selected in the first round, of course. So he's still an elite wide receiver to me. But yeah, I got him going in the second round. Now, with the third pick, with the third round pick, I believe the Atlanta Falcons should pick James Cook from Georgia. We need a running back. We don't have anybody right now who I feel comfortable with. Mike Davis is washed. And Cordell Patterson, I love him, but he's too hybrid made. He doesn't have a home position that we can look on the depth chart and feel comfortable putting him in starting. I like him at wide receiver. I like him at running back. But to be honest, I feel more comfortable having a running back who trained to play running back in the NFL. I'm sorry, I would. Now, with the 82nd pick in the third round, I think the Atlanta Falcons pick Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. They should go ahead and get the quarterback in the third round. I don't believe they're going to get a quarterback in the first round because they already spent money on Marcus Mariota. And it wouldn't make sense to draft the quarterback in the first round if you're going to have him on the bench. I'm just saying, don't get a first-round quarterback if you're going to put him on the bench. They already got Marcus Mariota. They made up their mind. He is going to be the starting quarterback come week 1. So we should get Desmond Ridder in the third round so he can come off the bench and learn. So with the 114th pick in the 2022 draft, I think the Atlanta Falcons should get Jacob. I'm not going to maybe say his last name. Jacob Penisic from Michigan State. We need a defensive end to help out Grady Jarrett as well to go along with Jordan Davis because we need sacks. We need a fearsome front line. Now, with the 151 pick in the 2022 draft, I think the Atlanta Falcons should get Jamar Sawyer from Georgia on the offensive line because we need blockers. We definitely need blockers. So, and we also need, I'm going to say with the 6th round pick, we need Luke Godick, whoever that is, from Central Michigan. I'm going to be honest, these late round picks, I just guessed on who I think we should get. And Isaac Taylor Stewart from USC to be our last pick. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on because we live. We here.
Okay.
They blowing them already. They hate them.
Welcome to the 22 NFL Draft. As you can see, I brought some friends here with me that you might recognize. Raiders Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP, Marcus Allen. And current Raiders Pro Bowlers Derek Carr and Darren Waller. We have 32 sections out here of some of our season ticket holders. We're proud to have all of you right here around the stage. Thank you. And we also have already well over 100,000 people here in Las Vegas tonight for the draft. So congratulations to you guys. Thank you for being here. And as I look around in this fan section, I see the Raider fans right here in front of me, the Raiders Nation.
Just in case it was not working, nobody heard me. My name is Patrick Seals. I will be your person guiding you along these guidelines of emotions of the Atlanta Falcons pick. Who we don't think they should select, or exactly who we think they should select. Roger Goodell's on stage right now. I believe the Falcons should pick Jordan Davis with the first pick in the first round, Kobe Dean in the second round, George Pickens the next pick. They got 2 picks in the second round, and they should get James Cook in the third round. 4 Georgia players on the top, boom, 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 bam, and then they should get Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. That's what I think the Atlanta Falcons should do.
Let's get this party started right. If y'all ready for this draft, let me hear you say, yeah. Say, oh, yeah. We're about to do this. Raider Nation, I love you. NFL, I love you.
They got Ice
Let's
Cube
hear
on
from
the
the
stage.
home
He got a lot of
court,
feedback going on with his microphone. I'd rather they just get to the draft, man. I ain't come here to see it. I ain't come here to see this, man. Just get to the draft. I want to see somebody get picked already. Let's do it. I don't care. I don't care. We in Las Vegas, but I don't care.
Dreams are going to be fulfilled this weekend. It's just the beginning. So let's make some noise for these young guys and these teams. Welcome to our great city of Las Vegas. Thank you.
All right, Las Vegas, time to get this show started. You ready? Let's go, man! All right, here we go. The 2022 NFL Draft is now officially open. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now on the clock.
And so there they are, the words we've been waiting to hear. The Jaguars are on the clock, and that will begin the next phase of what has been an offseason unlike any we've ever had in the National Football League. We talked about it with the committee.
Well, the Jaguars are on the clock as of right now, ladies and gentlemen. I think they're going to get the guy from Michigan who is a defensive lineman. He's the top-rated draft pick in all the draft boards, and I think that Michigan is going to have a number 1 draft pick in the draft this year. I can't think of his name. I don't really care because he's not going to my team, nor did he play for my favorite college football team. So, yeah, I think Jaguars going to go ahead and get him. They've already got a franchise quarterback they can build around. Now it's time to solidify the rest of their team because their team is atrocious. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will be drafting in the first. They will be drafting number 1 again next year. I'm just go ahead and say that. I know the Falcons are somebody who will be going to the Super Bowl next year, but I know the Jaguars also will not be going to the Super Bowl along with the Atlanta Falcons. We'll be watching at the same house in the same basement of the NFL. But they're on the clock, and eventually they'll make a selection.
All year, where we were at this stage, where we felt we had as little certainty of what we're about to see as we have right now. So
I don't even get how he's
now
an
let's
analyst.
begin at the very top.
He hasn't made a correct
Who's the number one player on the
analyzation
board?
of anything in the past 30 years.
Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end for Michigan for me. Why? His production on the field from start of the season to the end was outstanding. Yeah, the Georgia game, he was quiet. Paul was getting out of that quarterback game quick. When you think about Aiden Hutchinson, that explosiveness right at the snap of the football, tremendous hand usage, which you see time and time again when you watch him. That's why he gets the best of those offensive tackles. That hand usage to me is just like Joey and Nick Bosa. And you think about that, he doesn't have tremendously long arms. That's what makes up for the lack of great arm length. And when you look at the motor, it never stops. The production, not just sacks. He was 14 sacks this year. That set a school record. But the tackles, he was third in total tackles on that Michigan defense. The attitude, the approach that he brought. He had 3 sacks against Washington early on. Then he had 3 sacks against Penn State, 3 sacks against Ohio State. Then he gets a sack in the Big Ten championship game against Iowa. He did it over the course of the season on a consistent basis. Came back from an ankle injury 2 years ago. That's why he wasn't number 1 on the board when the season began, or even in the top 5 for that matter. So when you combine the attitude, the approach, and the talk about athleticism, his 3-cone, his short shuttle, and his vertical were better than Trayvon Walker. And when you think about quickness out of the block, think about the ability technique-wise to get the best of that offensive tackle, he did it. And that's why Aiden Hutchinson, after all is said and done, when you put all the boxes, you check them all, Aiden Hutchinson's the number 1 player, not only at defensive end, but overall on the big board.
And for me, Mel, it's got to be Trayvon Walker. I just look at him and I look at the word rare. He has rare ability. 6'5", 272 pounds, ran 4.51 in the 40. When I'm drafting number 1 overall, I'm not worried about what you did in college, Mel. I want to know what can you do for me in the National Football League. He can play with power. Can he buckle the guard? Can he buckle the tackle? Watch that. That is sheer power. He can set the edge of my defense. You're not running around him. I got to have that elite athleticism. Can you turn the corner? Can you chase? If I want to drop you back in coverage, can you do that? That's 272 pounds, folks. Dropping back in coverage, playing linebacker. And do you have the speed? When Patrick Mahomes, when Lamar Jackson, when Josh Allen break the pocket, can you track him down and can you walk him down? He can absolutely do that. He may not have the production because he was out of position in college. Greeny, I'll say this. He was a Ferrari that was driven in the suburbs. And Louis Riddick, I know the production was not there. I know it wasn't there, but it's going to be up to the defensive line coach to wherever he goes. Can you get that Ferrari out the suburbs and can you put it on the Autobahn because all the tools are there?
Yeah, look, obviously this is a discussion of the tape versus the testing. Okay, and look, if we're talking about this in the middle of the first round, if we're talking about this outside of the top 10, if we're talking about pick 12, 13, 14, then I would say, hey, look, he probably represents tremendous value because, look, we all know that it's always about future performance projection when you're talking about college players because they haven't played in the pros, right? But at some point in time, you have to kind of find the sweet spot between the testing and the production. Because I'll tell you this, if you're being drafted first overall and you're being drafted first overall to play defensive end, and you're going to an organization that has already invested, 2 number 1s over the past 3 years in defensive end.
Yes.
You better come out of the gate hunting down these quarterbacks in the AFC, Jacksonville, at a rate that is befitting of the number 1 overall pick, or you better do it very quickly. And I'll say this, look, Mike Caldwell is the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville, one of my teammates in Cleveland. You pick him, you're up, buddy. And I'll be calling you.
The pick is in. The Jaguars are ready to make their selection. Let's go down to Susie.
The pick is in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who they got.
To the mood, Susie.
They'll be picking again next year in the number 1 spot.
Needs real anxiety in the green.
Let's see who they got.
You can feel it. But right now, there's calm in Jacksonville. Doug Peterson telling me that he feels so confident at all the meetings, and the player that they're taking is a high-character guy who fits in their system. So it will be Peterson on the phone making
Tony
that
Khan
call.
in the war room.
Hutchinson, well, he certainly doesn't know. He candidly told me last night that the Jags, the Lions were his 2 best visits, but he'll be happy anywhere he goes. The question is, can Dad keep it together? His father, Chris, Davis, who is also a star at Michigan, can't even look at his son without tearing up. They were all just huddling in the chair together with Aiden. It'll be a wild ride. Cue the crying, Greeny.
I think America fell in love with that family. Michigan's magic carpet ride of the season. You see the crowd here that is so ready to go. They're singing along with Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline right now. Any question but that it'll be one of those two defensive ends, because many people believe that Ika Makwana was the offensive
Yeah, I
tackle.
might want to go ahead and mute that because I don't want to get no copyright infringed upon. So, I mean, I might
Defensive side of the ball.
turn that down a little bit or something at the most. I don't want to get no fringes put upon me. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
All right,
y'all
so
know what I'm
I'm
talking about.
told that the commissioner is ready to make his way out to the stage.
Hurry up, get out there.
Second consecutive year, we'll be making the first pick in the NFL draft. The crowd here is eager in its anticipation as Roger Goodell prepares to come on out here again. The expectation is that it'll either be Aiden Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker. I see the commissioner has now made his way
You think
out onto the
Trayvon
stage
Walker
and he
going
has
number
the
one,
card.
too?
He's ready to announce the first pick in this year's.
Well, here we go. The first pick is in.
With the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trayvon Walker.
Oh! Oh! Georgia just went number one in the draft. Look at that.
My goodness.
Nobody saw that going. Oh my God. It's Trayvon Walker.
Georgia, who in somewhere in the middle of this process was projected to go in the mid-20s.
Yes, sir.
Chosen to be home
Look at
in the
that black
ground, surrounded
excellence.
by his big
Yes,
family.
sir.
Didn't want to be here
Yes,
away
sir.
from anybody that he
Hey,
loved that helped him
hey,
get to this
hey
point.
now, say now. I'm not no Jaguars fan, but I am a Georgia fan, and Georgia just went number one on defense. That's how legendary their defense was last year, man. They had the number one draft pick on their defense. Yes, they did.
In the class, big and quick. Had
I knew the Falcons weren't gonna be able to get him. That's how high on everybody's draft board he was. They didn't have this man going number one though. They didn't. A lot of them had that other dude, the Aiden Hutchinson dude, and I don't want to say why, but Jacksonville see what's up. They got Trayvon Walker going number one. He is the first person taken in this year's NFL draft, a defender. And look at them highlights that they showing of Trayvon Walker on that Georgia defense that was so legendary. They brought home that national championship trophy. Look at him. See? German suplex and Florida player. Get out of here, man.
One force fumble career, okay? Career.
Oh man, look at them playing side by side by the person I think we should get in this round. Jordan Davis.
Brownie, Bosa, Joey Endek, double, tripled those numbers.
And they got Trayvon Walker. Congratulations, Jacksonville. You got one hell of a football player, and he's got one good pedigree on him, I must say.
Better technique. I know they moved him
A lot of
around,
people didn't.
but there's no excuses. There's no excuses why he's
Now-
back on the AOG.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
occupation, guys.
This is how the draft goes, man. It doesn't go how you think it's gonna go. It doesn't at all.
Booger, the excuse man.
thought Aiden Hutchinson going number one. A lot of draft boys had Aiden Hutchinson going on, but look, hey now, say now, that legendary defense showing
Listen,
up
man,
again.
I think it's as simple as this. He played out of position at Georgia. He was in that 4-out inside the tackle. He didn't have room to operate. Now, you're going to put this Ferrari, put him on the edge, and when you get him on the edge, he'll have the ability to turn the corner. I think Brenton Buckner will unlock this young man.
But he wasn't head up on the tackle every snap.
No, he was inside.
He wasn't in a three technique every snap. There were plenty of third down snaps where he was one-on-one against guys like Evan Neal, playing against Alabama, where, you know what, look, at some point in time, I want to see somebody beat somebody one-on-one, okay? And look, I understand that it's all about, again, projecting to the future.
Yes.
Mel, you got it right. Brenton Buckner, but you're up. Mike Caldwell, you are up. Because there is no margin for error with this pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn that down because they got Bonono playing in the background.
The Lions have already made their selection at number 2.
Oh, Detroit's in already.
Aiden Hutchinson wasn't the first pick if they would be running the
They going with Aiden Hutchinson. Got to be.
But we're about to find
Got
out.
to
There are
be.
a lot of great players on this
Detroit's
board,
pick
and
is
they
in.
obviously have a great many needs.
Detroit.
But this was about as quick as we've ever seen a team do this. That pick was in just seconds after Trayvon Walker was announced as the #1 overall selection. So we've had one pick made. Here comes Thibodel to announce the second pick in this year's draft. The Detroit Lions, who will select again tonight, currently scheduled to have the last pick in the first round. Here they are with selection #2 in the 2022 draft. Here's the commissioner.
With the second pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end, Michigan.
2 NFL linemen have been selected, 1 and 2. I can't even remember the first time. This is the last time this happened. 2 defensive linemen going 1 and 2 in the NFL draft. It's a defensive lineman heavy draft. It really is. There's a lot of defensive talent going in this draft. I remember playing this dude, and they said when they played in the Orange Bowl, this fella will be going. And yeah, they said he was a top defender. So to see him go #2 right here behind an even better lineman, I'm just playing. I'm just saying. Hey, it is what it is, man. Congratulations to him. I don't even know what he looked like. He looked like Joe Burrow a little bit, like Joe Burrow's evil twin, Burrow Joe. He's going to the Detroit Lions. Welcome to a lifetime of misery in Detroit. Welcome to the NFL, where dreams go to die. Because you'll be in Detroit, and you'll be sad. Even if you are great, you might go out to Megatron and Barry Sanders' way. Who knows?
30th in sacks last season. Mel rattled off in 3 separate games in 2021. Aiden Hutchinson had.
Right now, he's living out his dream, getting drafted to the NFL. Play football.
He was ripping. He was hand swiping. He was coming back inside. He was spinning. He was reading offensive tackle sets heavy and light. Do I need to pull you? Do I need to beat you?
He's gonna play some football.
Quite honestly. And he's one of those guys who, because of how he plays screening, people automatically want to go ahead and put him in this box. He's just a try-hard guy. No, he's not. He's 6'7", 260 pounds, who ran a 3-cone in a short shuttle as fast as most DBs. Yeah. He's a good athlete. If you're Detroit right now, you're going, thank you.
And simply put, doesn't he just fit with Detroit? Dan Campbell wants to bite elbows and knees and scratch toes. Like, this guy is a hard-nosed football player who's going to give you maximum effort. We talk about the high floor. He has it. But if you want to talk about it and know what he is, he's the most NFL-ready defensive end. The ability to use my hands and knock the offensive tackle's hands down. And now, once I knock him down, can I turn the corner and can I finish? And when I finish, can I get the football out? His hand usage is phenomenal. His array of moves is phenomenal. Why is he the most NFL ready? Because he comes with the ability to go long arm over chop, arm over power. And in the end, whatever move I use, I have to be able to finish and get to the quarterback. Arm over, arm under. What about the swim move, Greeny? I can't swim, but he can. Coming off the corner, the inside move. The production is there because the moves have been there all along. Aiden Hutchinson comes into the NFL, the most NFL-ready defensive end. Now, the only question, Greeny, is this. Can those moves that he used in the Big Ten work in the NFL? But I know Dan Campbell is excited to have him there in Detroit.
He's the second Michigan defensive player to go top 5 in history. The other is in the Hall of Fame. He's Charles Woodson.
We just roll along here in this NFL draft. It shall not be long before the Oakland Falcons undrafted.
That went #2 overall, going back to
Trayvon Walker go #1. Aiden Hutchinson follow along him in
San Francisco. Was in
I
the
don't know
Super
who
Bowl.
the
Chase Young, of course, a terrific young player.
They're going to pick somebody,
he was #1
and they can be
on
drafted,
your board,
and
as
they're
I'm
going to
being
play
told the
football.
Texans pick is already in there,
No,
coming
I don't
fast
care.
and
They
furious.
play them
Now,
next year,
Aiden Hutchinson
so
goes #2.
I don't care who they pick. I really don't.
Yeah, great pick for the Lions. This was a historically bad Detroit Lions defense. That's where Aiden wanted to play. He thought that's where he was going back a month and a half ago, and that kind of switched. Let's say you maybe be #1. He wanted to be a Detroit Lions. We're at the first pitch with a Tiger baseball game. He's ecstatic, and the Lions organization, believe me, did not expect this to happen.
Their defense was 31st in points allowed this past year. They obviously needed help on that side of the ball. It was a team that showed a lot of improvement as the year went on. We'll see what they're capable of. Now we turn our attention to Houston. Lewis, they could use probably a little bit of everything, and they have quite a few options in front of them.
They sure could. Look, they have really some really good players sitting here, right? You could use pass rush, you could use a corner, you could use wide receiver, and right now there's some real good players that are going to wind up being all rookies, pros, pro bowlers, maybe even potential Hall of Famers still here as you're sitting at the 3rd pick overall.
They have quite a good deal of draft capital. They traded Deshaun Watson to the Browns for 3 first-rounders, so we'll hear from them again tonight. But they were ready to go quickly here. Again, Ikem Ekwonu was on the board, the outstanding offensive tackle. The corners are on the board. We've yet to hear from any of the wide receivers, Booger.
And Lovie Smith is a defensive coach. Let's not forget that background. He wants to build that defense.
The new head coach in Houston. Again, I'm told the commissioner is making his way out here shortly. As these picks are coming fast so far.
Turn it down again. They playing music. I'm not getting infringed upon.
Number 2 to Detroit, and almost immediately the picks have come in quickly. Again, we wondered would we get 3 consecutive defensive ends. Kayvon Thibodel is a name we are waiting to hear called. The corners are on the board. The receivers are on the board. The offensive tackles are on the board. The choice being made by the Houston Texans. They're clearing the stage as quickly as they can, and here comes the commissioner to announce the 3rd pick in this.
We go. Houston Texans pick is in.
With the 3rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Derek Stingley Jr., defensive back, LSU.
And so on an unpredictable night, we have our first big surprise. There was a moment in time where it looked like this might be the best player in the country. That moment was 3 years ago. He was a high school superstar, state player of the year as a senior. As a true freshman on LSU's national title team, he looked every bit the number 1 overall pick in the draft. He has not looked it since then. Booger McFarland, Derek Stingley goes number 3.
And there was an old song, Green, that said, can we turn back the hands of time?
Yeah, some random white lady be the avatar for Derek Stingley.
Where he was the best
At the
cornerback in
draft,
college
he's
football
surrounded by
on
his
an
friends,
African
family, love.
team. Simply put, Greeny,
Had a
he's a
black
cornerback
one,
with wide receiver skills at the position. When the ball is in the air, he plays the ball like no other cornerback. His footwork, he is a smooth mover, effortless grace. You get all of that in the cornerback position. And everyone said, well, what about 2020, the COVID year? What about 2021? He got hurt. I can tell you, Greeny, there was a lot going on at LSU. And Derek Stingley Jr. had to play through that along with the injury. But when you go back to 2019, the way he moves, the grace, his ability to plant and drive and come out of his back pedal, and more importantly, the way to play the ball. He can turn the football over for your team. And in this Lovie Smith defense, where he's eventually going to get out the pass and the ball's going to come out, he turns defense in the offense. He's the best cornerback in the draft, and the Texans got it.
All right, so we are in Las Vegas, but this draft is going to take a New York field momentarily over the next hour.
And they'll probably be drafted in the top 5 next year again. The Jets have a lot of misery surrounding their NFL franchise. We played them in London, and of course we spanked them. And the Jets are on the board at number 4. I really don't care who they pick it off. I really care less. We're definitely not playing them next year. They go on a commercial. Perfect. They go on a commercial. I'm going to get something to drink, and we'll be back with more. Go ahead and mute the TV, because they like to play music on commercials and whatnot. Haven't the slightest idea how long this draft gonna take. I don't know. Doing some more of those shenanigans. Jets pick is in.
2022 NFL Draft, presented by Courtyard by Marriott.
You know what I mean? I'm with you. Trust me.
We are back in Las Vegas where the picks are coming fast and furious. And if you're in town, you can venture over to New York Casino. Well, New York's football teams are tied for the worst record in the NFL in the last 5 years. As you see there, both of them at 22 and 59. But over the next hour, they control this draft. The Jets with picks 4 and 10. The Giants at 5 and 7. The Jets on the clock, and they got here faster than we expected as these picks came in so quickly. Mel Kiper, which direction should they be looking right now?
I think you mesh picks when you have two. The Houston Texans took the corner Stingley because at 13, a corner's not going to be there. Sauce Gardner and Stingley would have been gone. You mesh this pick with 10. You need a receiver for Zach Wilson. Drake London, Garrett Wilson certainly makes sense at 10. At this spot, Sauce Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati, that lockdown corner, they don't have it. They got some decent corners, not a lockdown guy. And then the offensive line with Ike Ekwonu. I have Ike as the second best player in the draft. He's going to be a Pro Bowler, guaranteed. He's a destroyer. His improvement in pass protection was phenomenal this year. He's a great kid, great character. I don't think you can go wrong with Sauce or Icky at this pick for the Jets.
Lewis,
and then come back at 10 with a wide out for Zach Wilson.
That's really the choice you make here. They have the young quarterback. Maybe getting him the offensive lineman is the way to go.
Yeah, look, there's a number of different ways, simply because of the fact that they're so devoid of talent, really. But look, I think there's just too many primary needs here in order for you to really go wrong with any of these stretch players that are left on the board.
As Mel pointed out, you sort of hold the picks together there at 4 and 10, and there have also been any number of trade rumors surrounding the Jets and their intentions here. More connected to that 10th pick, which will be about an hour away. Here's Roger Goodell.
Jets pick is in.
In the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner, defensive back, Cincinnati.
Whoa. Both defensive players going in
And
the
so
top
the corners
of the draft.
go off the
Who could've
board
predicted
first.
late?
It was an historic season for the Bearcats.
Like I said, I don't care who the Jets pick. We don't play them. On to the next. Who's up next? Who's the next draft pick? It's the Giants. So you got two New York teams going back to back. All right, Giants on the clock.
And for his career, in over 1,000 snaps in coverage, he never allowed a touchdown. Lewis, you told us earlier tonight, in your mind, he might be the best player in this draft.
Look, when you have a secondary that was as bad as the Jets last year, you need a guy like Ahmad Gardner who, quite honestly, can just take your opposing team's best wide receiver, and because of the physical skills that he has at 6'2", 190, with the kind of quickness, body twitch, explosiveness, and finishing skills that he has, and you just put him on him and say, Ahmad, go get him. No, now I can call you Sauce because you got drafted. That's what Fickle said. So look, this is something right here that you can best believe that Jets coaches are gonna make him do and allow him to do. Get up on a lot of scrimmage where he is most comfortable and get after people with that long reach of his. He will come up, he will tackle, he will play the physical game. He will go ahead and set the edge for you. He played boundary corner at Cincinnati, where they sent him a lot on those boundary corner fires, and he showed that he will go ahead and hit, cause some tackles for loss and force fumbles. If you want him to back off, glue the quarterback, break downhill, finish with the ball, and go ahead and return it for a pick six. You think the Jets can't use that? Of course they can, Greeny. Be happy. You're a Jets fan. Be happy.
Here's the one thing I'll say about it. Everything you said is true. The one thing I worry about is he's very handsy, Lewis. When he gets to the NFL, they're going to have to teach him because they'll call that holding, that pass interference. He's got to get better with his hands. Other than that, phenomenal player.
I know what you're wondering. You're wondering, where did the sauce come from? Well, he grew up Detroit. When he was 6 years old, a coach called him A1 Sauce Sweet Feet Gardner.
That's a lot of names.
The sauce stayed with him, and he decided that he liked it. Mel, you said melding the picks together, and so they go with the corner here after Stingley went off the board at 3.
Yeah, and this tells you a little bit, too, about Mekhi Becton, left tackle. Maybe they didn't have enough confidence. They said, they could go O-line. Well, now they feel like, hey, Becton is going to be the guy. They drafted him early. Joe Douglas did a few years ago. And he was kind of iffy, but they're going to go forward with Becton. Zach Wilson needs a big target. He needs a receiver he can count on. He's got the little guys, Elijah Moore, the diminutive guys, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, and Corey Davis. They need a Drake London or a Garrett Wilson, or maybe even a Jameson Williams. So it sets up for Joe Douglas, Jim the Jets. Get the corner, the lockdown corner. DJ Reed, Eccles, thinking about Michael Carter II, right? Hall. They're okay, but this guy's big time. And then you get the receiver at 10, so it meshed perfectly. The Giants are sitting here, guys, looking at everything working out beautifully for them. They can take Ike Ekwonu, put him at right tackle. They can take Charles Cross, Mississippi State, put him at right tackle. Or they can take Evan Neal, who already started a year at right tackle. They have their choice of anybody, because Carolina, they know, will take it probably a left tackle, maybe a quarterback, probably not, but a left tackle. And then at the next pick, 7, they can get the pass rusher, whether it's Jermaine Johnson II, Kayvon Thibodel. So for the Giants and the Jets, it seems like this thing is hitting almost perfectly.
So for the Jets' new cornerback, a funny thing happened on his way to the stage. Let's show you. Sauce Gardner made sort of a wrong turn. You know, New York City can be a little confusing every now and again. But as you can see, he took off, and his moment of excitement took off the wrong way. So he tried to do the spin move there.
Oh, that ice weighing it down.
And grab my ice. Well, he looking sweet. Look at the ice, Greeny. That's a lot of ice around his neck, baby.
It most certainly is. Well, we got a lot of ice in that area, December, January.
Way too much.
Cold games. We'll see how that goes. We have made history tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have had 4 consecutive defensive players go off the board. If offense sells tickets and defense wins championships, we're giving out some rings tonight. It's the second time that defensive players have gone with each of the first 4 picks in the draft. And you see them there, Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson, the pass rushers, and Derek Stingley Jr. and Ahmad Gardner, who are the pass defenders. And so, again, they're coming quickly, and we can tell you the Giants' pick has already come in. Mel talked about combining the picks. The Giants go at 5, and again at 7, with Carolina in between. So, Lewis, how do you approach it?
Look, I think Mel has it dead on. Look, you want to build your football team, especially in the NFC, and in the NFC East in particular. Look, you know I say this all the time.
Yeah.
Inside out, front to back.
Yep.
Meaning, offensive line, make sure you're strong up the middle. Obviously, with the New York Giants, they
Them folks don't know what they talking about, man. They just talking. Mel Kiper be getting all the draft picks wrong, but yet he's still an analyst and getting paid to talk for some reason.
Later on here in the first round in a couple of picks.
So here's how I do this if I'm the Giants. We got 5 and 7. Maybe they want to move out of 7. At 5, I have my pick of the best tackle on the board. Take the tackle, realizing that Carolina, if they don't take a quarterback, Carolina's going to get a tackle. Then you come back at 7, and now you got Thibodel, you got Jermaine Johnson, your best end sitting there. So that's how you do that if you're the Giants.
There was some news from the Giants camp today as well, as they have declined to pick up the 5th-year option on their quarterback, Daniel Jones. That is
that dude going walking. He was trash, though. I ain't gonna lie. That man was trash.
Yeah, well, look,
I miss Daniel Jones, though. I want him to stay with the Giants because he brings bad things to the Giants, and I want nothing but bad things to happen to the Giants. So I want Daniel Jones to stay on the
It
Giants.
feels like they address that offensive line pretty much every year, and yet it continues to struggle. Will this be the year they...
All right, they pick is in. The 5th pick of the night. Let's go.
As they make their way out to name the Giants selection at number 5 in this year's
Who's
draft.
this? This is his son? This is Ronnie Goodell, son? This is Make-A-Wish?
For the New York Giants pick, I'm joined by Sam Prince, a lifelong Giants fan.
Who cares,
and
man?
Make-A-Wish kid.
Oh, yeah. Get on with it. Still, though, respectfully.
Sam is post-heart transplant and feeling stronger than ever, as you can see.
Get on with it. His team sucks, though. He's an awesome person, but his team is not.
Tonight, his wish to announce the Giants' first pick comes true. We hope this wish will be a turning point for Sam as he looks forward to being a sports broadcaster in the future. Okay, Sam, it's time to get your wish true, baby.
Thank you, Mr. Goodell. With the 5th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Kayvon Thibodel, defensive end, Oregon.
Congratulations, young fella. You got drafted.
A spectacular moment for that young man and a spectacular moment for this young man. Thibodel, the #1 rated recruit in the country out of Los Angeles. Had only half the number of sacks Aiden Hutchinson did, but did have the 3rd best pressure rate in the country. Was a unanimous selection as an All-American this past year, twice All-Conference first team. Finished his career, Booger, with 19 sacks in 32 games for the Ducks.
Greeny, you talk about the #1 player since high school. When they build you up, they want to tear you down, Greeny. And since then, since his freshman year at Oregon,
Congratulations. Panthers are on the clock.
Simply put, Greeny, he's got the quickest first step in the draft. If you're looking for a guy that can move, we call that twitchiness. I believe that's the term for it. Watch the first step. He's gone. He beats the offensive tackle with speed. A lot of questions, Greeny, about whether he loves football. Does he love to play the game? Here, I can simply tell you, Greeny, his bend off the edge, his ability to turn, his ability to corner and get to the quarterback and put fear in the offensive tackle is better than just about anybody. I can play with power. I can play with long arm. People have had questions about his personality. I go back to this, Louis Riddick. The Ohio State game, he got hurt. It would have been very easy for him to sit out the rest of the season. We saw a lot of guys in college sit out. He came back from that ankle injury and played. That told me he loves football, his mentality is there, and you're getting another rare first step at defensive end.
Look, I have gone back and forth with him. I remember looking at him his freshman year, and I said, please, just don't play any more football in college.
Exactly.
Just wait a couple years and we'll draft you #1 overall. Okay? Talking to people who were familiar with his injury and how painful that high ankle sprain was, they will tell you, look, go ahead and throw out the tape. As soon as that guy comes back from that, throw out the tape because they're not the same. But I will say this. His tempo, his competitiveness is going to be expected by Wink Martindale, the ex-Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator, who's the new coordinator of the Giants, to be at an elite level at all times. Because that's what he needs to be now, right? He needs to be a foundational player. A player who right now will be a New York Giants pillar player, a cornerstone, for not one contract, for maybe 2 or 3, because they've had some great pass rushers in their history in New York, going back to the 80s and 90s. But over the past 2 years, as far as their pass rush win rate, it has been amongst the worst in the NFL. There are expectations on him now, when he's healthy, to go ahead and set the tone for this defense. That's the expectation now.
All right, we will come back with the Panthers pick in just a moment. The Giants, as we mentioned, they have 5 and 7. Could this be the moment that we get the first quarterback off the board? Could it be Malik Willis, the young man from Liberty? Could it be Kenny Pickett from Pitt? The Panthers are in need of a quarterback, but is this too early to do it? We're going to find out the answer next. It's been a fast and furious night so far. The quarterbacks are ready.
They think they Willis. They gonna get Willis.
It's the draft on ESPN.
They going on commercial, and I'm over here doing this right here. Panthers pick is in, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta pay attention to this because this our division rivals who we play 2 times a year.
And the quarterbacks are still on the board, and they're likely
Hopefully
to be
they don't
there
get a
for a while.
quarterback and
This
they get
according to
somebody
our
who's not
draft
going to make a
predictor,
difference for their
which
football
we use
team.
mock drafts and Scouts Inc. grades and team needs. We estimate the chances that a player will be available at number 11 is a 98% chance that when Washington picks, one of these quarterbacks is available. The Saints pick at 16 and 19, and then the Steelers at number 20. And thus, that suggests, Mel, that to take a quarterback here would be a reach indeed for the Carolina Panthers. What do you think?
I agree. 17 and 18 is where I have Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett. And I think you look at the offensive tackles. You have right now Ike Ekwonu at number 2 on the big board. Evan Neal in that top 5-6 area. Same thing with Charles Cross right after. So these 3 offensive tackles have high grade. You're picking at 6. You got to get somebody inside of your top 5 on your board. And if they have one of the quarterbacks, fine. That's their opinion. I disagree with it. We'll see what happens. But certainly offensive tackle, the issue. Sam Darnold's your quarterback, right? The offensive line is bad. They didn't have McCaffrey. They added Austin Corbett, Bradley Bozeman. They still need the left tackle. That's the position. They could use a pass rusher like Jermaine Johnson at second. But you can only get one pick here, guys. So you got to help Sam Darnold out, help that offensive line out. You added Bozeman and Corbett. Now get Ike Ekwonu, Evan Neal, or Charles Cross, whoever they prefer, those 3. My pick would be Ike Ekwonu. I love the kid.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I think this is way too high for the quarterbacks. They can go get a Sprite. It's going to be a while for them. If you're the Carolina Panthers, even though Matt Rule has got to save his job, I think you have to go with the best tackle on the board. If that's Neal or Ekwonu, I think it's Ekwonu.
Yeah, it's all about value, right? That's what you're trying to do. Maximize value. You got every one of these offensive tackles on the board, and you got a beast in Ekwonu sitting there staring you in the face.
The Panthers better make this pick count because they, as we speak right now, do not have a selection in either the 2nd or the 3rd round. They traded those to acquire Sam Darnold last year. So let's see what they do at number 6.
With the 6th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Ikem Ekwonu.
Well,
Carolina State.
that's not a quarterback. They got an offensive tackle. They need an offensive tackle because they are the one few teams the Atlanta Falcons can secure a sack on.
A variety played guard.
Is this fella.
In his time in Raleigh was a unanimous
They rattled Cam Newton last year, and Atlanta Falcons did, so maybe, I don't know.
Doctor who played college basketball.
The Giants, they got 2 home away. The Giants had 2 top 10 draft picks.
Plays linebacker at Notre Dame.
Oh, man.
Super smart young
Why
man.
didn't let that happen?
Harvard and Yale and Mel. He lasted
The Giants
all the way
finna
to
pick
number
again.
6.
The Falcons are on deck.
For who might be the best player in the draft.
Falcons are on deck.
2 on the big board behind Aiden Hutchinson. I'll tell you, you talk about entertaining.
Giants about to pick, and the Falcons are on deck. Get to that time, ladies and gentlemen.
This kid was right up to near the top of the list. He just destroyed people. He played an aggressive brand of football. He played past the whistle. This kid really came ready to play every week. The improvement was as a pass blocker. We knew he could drive defenders off the ball, take them out of the stadium. We knew that. Could he protect the quarterback? Could he mirror in pass protection? He's a great technician this year. He mirrored. He showed tremendous ability, keeping his frame between the defensive end and the quarterback. That improvement signaled to me he can be a great pro right away. He's got long arms. He's 6'4", 310, ran 4.93. The technician he is this year, he became. I got to credit their coaching staff. They really turned him from last year to this year into a much better player, a complete player. Dominant run blocker, became a dominant pass blocker, which meant he soared up to near the top of the big board.
Look, when you have an offensive tackle that did 2 things when he was in high school. He wrestled and ran on the track team, and he's an offensive tackle now. I'm going, okay, now you're a pretty good athlete. Then when you combine it with the fact that you're right, in the run game, it's just fun. If you just want to turn on tape and burn a couple hours, just watch Ike Ekwonu go ahead and run block. You're right, though, Mel. The pass protection, when he keeps his head back, he's not up on his toes. He doesn't get out over his toes. The punch timing is there. He will shut down anyone. You watch him against Florida State going against Jermaine Johnson in the second. He was getting after him. We all believe Jermaine Johnson is one of the most technically sound pass rushers in this draft. Watch best on best. He showed up. Look, I think for Carolina right now, they're going to eat a lot of hot dogs, have a lot of dinner down there in Carolina. They're not going to pick for a while. Have some fun. You got yourself a beast in this young man.
And I'm going to applaud Scott Fitterer and Matt Rule because it would have been easy to reach for a quarterback. They need one. Your former son, Sam Darnold, he struggled down there a little bit. But at some point, they made the best pick, Greeny, and they got the best player. So I'm going to applaud Carolina. They didn't take the cheese. They didn't take the bait. They took the best player and not the best quarterback.
By the way, we've mentioned that Aquanu goes by the nickname of Icky. A coach gave him that nickname because he said he looked like Icky Woods. And now the big fella is going to do the Icky Shuffle a very short distance. He's just going from Raleigh to Charlotte to play for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, look, I mean, how many times, especially when we get in late November, December, we start watching the NFL and we see offensive lines just getting obliterated.
Correct. Yeah.
We just know that that's what you have to have.
Right.
When you have the 5th worst pass block win rate in the NFL, it's kind of easy, right?
Yeah.
It's easy, especially an offensive tackle hasn't been picked yet. Pick him.
And so the Giants go back on the board now, and it's a good
All
time
right,
for us
Giants
to
got
glance
another
at
pick.
Mel's
It
best
is
available
in, ladies and
players,
gentlemen.
which is brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott. And again, it's been a fascinating night. The Giants have already made a selection.
Falcons are on deck. All right.
And so with the Giants
Game time. It's time to get serious. It's time to get serious, ladies and gentlemen.
Safety out of Notre Dame.
Falcons are on deck. It's what we've been waiting for.
Tackle Evan Neal. That's the direction we thought maybe the Giants would go earlier. We've not yet seen the wide receivers go off.
Hopefully they don't disappoint me.
And
Now,
London. And so
I got the Falcons
now
getting Jordan Davis in the first round. I got the Kobe Dean going in the second round. And I got George Pickens also going in the second round. The Falcons have 2 picks. This will be known as the Julio Jones pick. And I suspect they get a wide receiver with their former wide receiver going. They should also get James Cook in the 3rd round, and they should get Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round as well, but they got 2 third-round picks. They traded Matt Ryan for this pick. This would be known as the Matt Ryan pick, and I think they should draft a quarterback to replace the former quarterback that is gone. That's the first 5 picks that I think the Falcons should get, and the New York Giants pick is in. Falcons are on deck, as we gonna see who the Giants select. Hopefully, they don't get who I think they should not get, and that's the person I think the Falcons should get. They lucky though, man. They got 2 top 10 draft picks. That's crazy. Rarely happens. They are rich.
Tackles are sitting there for the Giants. They seem to address that need every year. Is that the direction they go? We'll find out now. The Giants' 2nd pick in the
Giants pick is in.
And here's the commissioner.
Go.
With the 7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Evan Neal, tackle, Alabama.
So they got Evan Neal
The
out of
Giants sound
Alabama.
happy, and they should be. Evan Neal started 40 games at 3 different
I can't remember
positions
when they first
at
picked him.
Bama,
I don't
including
really care.
13 as a
They got
guard
Evan
as a
Neal.
freshman.
He wasn't on
Then
my
he moved
pick.
to right
But in the
tackle,
get,
then left.
so it is what it
versatility,
shall
a
be.
big part of the
Now,
appeal. He was the
on to
number
bigger and better things, because I don't care about Alabama or the Giants. So the Falcons are on deck. They're about to pick the 8th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. And let's say it with me now. Jordan Davis. Say it with me again. Jordan Davis from Georgia, the big, humongous defensive tackle who had an amazing pro day. He showed out at the NFL Combine. He had an amazing 40 time to be a lineman of his size. The Falcons need that versatility, that freshness coming off their defensive line. They need somebody to help Grady Jarrett out because he gets constantly double teamed. Please pick this brother to come home to these Atlanta Falcons. I warn you, I'm only wearing this hat so I can take it off in frustration and despair if the Falcons don't pick who I think they should. Again, that's what the hat is for, nothing else. The Falcons on deck. I don't care about Alabama or the Giants. And the Falcons are on deck. That's all that needs to be said. All right. Oh, man. Okay. We're not even playing a football game, and I'm nervous. Oh, man. Here we go. Why these birds got to do us like this? All right. Oh, man. Here we go. On deck. We on deck. The Falcons' pick is up. Who shall these birds pick? Oh. What these birds finna pick, man. Here we go, here we go, here we go. They talking about us. I don't really care what they got to say because I don't care about none of these dudes.
He punched on time. I mean, he looked like a guy who really was ideally suited for that side of the football. So to me, look, the Giants historically have built their football team.
I don't care, man. The Falcons pick is on. They need to go ahead and... Oh, man, Jordan Davis, please. Please, 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 please.
Strahan and Osi and those guys. That's what they need.
And Lewis, I think you always
Let's
say
get those out there to talk about.
And Green, I need to check and see if Gettleman's still a team. This seems like a Gettleman draft. Big people, a defensive end, and an offensive lineman. We're going to build it up front, getting value, getting best player on the board. In order to move the football or stop people, you have to do it up front. You have to be able to block these great edge rushers. Trayvon Walker went number 1.
All right.
Hutchinson went number 2. The NFL is telling
One Georgia boy already off the board. He went number 1, of course. Hopefully, the second Georgia boy who played right next to him on that legendary defense comes off the board right now. Because we need defense. Our offense is probably not going to be good, but our defense has been terrible for a while. Especially at defensive end. We've had Big Beasley leave. We've had Dwight Freeney move on. We've had Tack McKinley leave football altogether. Adrian Claiborne can never replicate that 6-sack game that he had against Dallas. And Grady Jarrett needs help. We need a defensive lineman. The pick is in. My heart is pounding very, very hardly. Oh, here we go.
Most certainly need them. Matt Ryan, of course, has been traded to Indianapolis.
Julio Jones gone.
Received a
Calvin Ridley
pick
suspended.
this year for their
Got
longtime
Kyle Pitts,
standout
Marcus
quarterback.
Mariota playing quarterback. We don't have a definite running back right now. We got Cordell
particularly
Patterson,
with the
but he's too
circumstances
hybrid to
Calvin
slot
Ridley,
him
who
in
has been
at one
suspended
starting
at
spot.
least through this entire season.
Ah,
Kyle
man,
Pitts,
we
who they
had
took at
one
number 4 overall
hell of a
last year, by
offseason.
far their most
And it
productive
shall
weapon.
probably
Mel,
continue
very
right
quickly, what do
there.
we expect to see here as we wait for the commissioner?
Ha.
Wide receiver.
Come on, Falcons. Don't disappoint me, baby. Don't you do it, Falcons. You better not. You Falcons. You better not do it. You better get who I think you better get. Oh, man.
Wide receiver and a pass rusher. They could go
You better
any
get
direction.
him.
This team's got a lot of holes.
It's an
Let's go,
interesting
Birds.
circumstance.
Go ahead and get that dude.
Tom Brady is back there.
Jordan
The
Davis.
Saints
Come on,
have
Birds.
two picks
Let's
coming
go.
up tonight. The Falcons feel like a team that's rebuilding. They can
Let's
look
go,
in almost
Birds.
any direction.
Yeah, they sure could. Look, they've been one of the worst pass rushing teams in the NFL. But
We've always had the worst pass rush defense. Always.
No doubt.
Even
Wide
when we
receiver,
had
you talk about
Beasley.
Garrett Wilson. At defensive end, we can go Jermaine Johnson.
All right.
Bring out
Here we go. The
Right
pick
now
is
is
in.
Roger Goodell
Everybody
for the
quiet,
pick.
quiet.
With the 8th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Drake London, wide receiver, USC.
What an athlete this young man is. 6'5" out of the LA area. Caught 88 balls in 8 games last year before he broke his ankle and missed the rest of the season. Chose USC because he wanted to play basketball as well as football, and he did appear in several games for the basketball team. So there's no question about the size, Lewis, or the athleticism.
Yeah, they're going to need all of it. Because think of it like this: the Falcon wide receivers combined for the fewest receiving yards last season, 4th highest drop rate in the NFL. And then Russell Gage leaves in free agency. You think they need Drake London? Yeah, they need.
That dude ain't no Jordan Davis.
Is quarterback friendly because of that frame and because of how he can go up and get the ball even when he is contested. The late great.
Oh, man. Yeah, this dude wasn't nowhere near on my draft pick. We went offense in the first round. I ain't see that happening. Why? Who is this guy? He played for a sorry team. He might be good. I don't know, but no. There are too many defensive players that are great coming out of the draft right now. And we got no. Why? This is man. Hi. Well, we're going to continue to have a terrible defense. We're not going to have a good pass rush again. Oh, man. Grady Jarrett's going to forever be alone on that defensive line with nobody to back him up. Deion Jones is going down. Whew. Drake London. Drake London. He might be a good player. I don't know. It's just too soon to... Is he going to replace Calvin Ridley? Is he going to replace Julio Jones? Is he going to replace Russell Gage? Who knows? Who knows? He might replace Russell Gage. I don't know. He might turn out to be a good pick. But nobody had us picking an offensive player on their draft boards. I'm completely thrown off right now, man. Drake London. Drake London. It's what we signed up for, huh? It's what we... Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and cut this off. I'm not in the mood to talk about Falcons football again. Give me another 3 more months. I ain't... Drake London. Drake London. Maybe if I say his name more and more, it'll... Hi. Hey, man, look. I'm Patrick Seals. Thank y'all for tuning in with me. We got Drake London in the first round. I'm not too excited about it. They did not get anywhere near close to where I thought they were going to get. They got a wide receiver at number 8. And to be honest, I don't even think that... Is he the best? Is he the 8th best person in the draft? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I'm not a draft analyst. I'm just a football fan with reactions, with emotions and tears and biasness and all that type of stuff. Until the next time I see you, I'm Patrick Seals. When the draft is over with, I'll react to the full draft because the Falcons don't look like they're going to get anybody on my draft board. Until then, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.